Hi everybody, thank you very much for watching. My name is Jonathan Jarvie and I'm joined by my colleague Nicholas Fergusson. Today we'll be covering the topic of how to service the best interests of your insurance clients in a digital world using the Life Design Analysis software. For those of you that aren't familiar with Life Design Analysis, we are a cloud-based sales and productivity software designed for carriers, distributors, and advisors. Life Design Analysis is here to increase revenue, save time, and automate compliance. Our goal is to also help clients better understand their options, and this feature can add value to all levels of the insurance distribution chain. Life Design Analysis was created because of some industry issues. One of them is that 88% of people aren't familiar with the type of life insurance options available to them. 40% have no idea how much coverage they need, how much to buy. And 63% say that the right time to buy life insurance is immediately or as soon as they can afford it. These statistics that we have in front of us point to one common issue, which is a lack of communication, which needs to be improved upon. Now, when we present insurance options to clients, we generally use numbers and text. However, most people are visual learners. And this is a great example of how visuals are processed so much faster. For driving down the road, would you prefer to see the option on the left or the right? I'm sure all of us would say the option on the right-hand side. Whereas when we're showing insurance options to clients, we tend to show the examples more like the option on the left, whereas clients may prefer to see that example on the right-hand side, being a visual learner. And that's the same information. So you can see how that can make a big difference. And that's one of the problems that we solve, is alleviating that confusion by using our advanced data visualization techniques to take this insurance information, put it into an interactive visual presentation to help better communicate the value of life insurance options to our clients. The second problem we solve is regarding the in-force business. Too many advisors are relying upon the insurance carriers to send reports of upcoming renewals. Some advisors may create their own Excel spreadsheet to document this. Unfortunately, human error can come into play, and there's no notifications or custom filters with those Excel files. So with Life Design Analysis, we offer the ability to load in your in-force block of business through any insurance carrier, so all of your clients and their policy data is located in one spot. Along with that, we have custom filters and notifications to help you identify opportunities that exist within your block of business, and any policy data that's inside of the program can also be brought into an insurance report, so you can compare their existing life insurance policy versus new product options that you're looking to recommend. The third problem we solve is compliance. Nowadays in the insurance industry, compliance is a huge topic of conversation, and it's crucially important to your business. Using our program, we help automate each of the necessary compliance elements in an insurance sale, from compliance documentation, including a needs analysis, reason why letter, advisor disclosure, going through the product suitability with the life insurance reports, using that visual information to help communicate the value of options to clients. Then we have the policy monitoring, which we just covered with the in-force block of business, and how we can store all the clients in one place so you can service them properly. And finally, having all that information in an encrypted backup storage location, which our cloud-based software offers. So each one of those compliance elements is covered off so you can have that confidence. The fourth problem we solve is efficiency. In the industry, we're seeing that advisors are going to different carriers' illustration softwares to get quotes, whereas with Life Design Analysis, we have built-in integration with LifeGuide. For those of you that are a LifeGuide subscriber, please contact us to learn more about the exclusive discount we offer. This helps us streamline the sales process because you can research in one spot through multiple carriers. You have the ability to do comparisons and presentations with our visual reports. You can manage your in-force block of business all in one location too. And because we are a cloud-based system, you can access Life Design Analysis on any device. So having everything built into one centralized location will definitely help you become more efficient and save you time. All right, so now I'm going to pass off to my colleague, Nick Fergusson, and he's going to go through more of the features and benefits of Life Design Analysis.
Thanks, John. First and foremost, kind of the core and the most recognizable part of LDA is our branded visual presentations. And really what that's intended to do is obviously give you as an advisor an edge against the competition, but not only that, provide you with a really beautiful presentation that you can give to your clients to assure them of the time and effort spent on actually putting together these solutions for them and selecting what you think is best and most appropriate for them. More than that, the visual presentations themselves bring on a whole new meaning to how we can present this information by utilizing visualizations instead of just straight data. Additional to that is enforced policy management. To be more specific, really what that means is having a system in LDA that allows you to collate and kind of bring together your entire book of business into one place, digitalize it, and have that accessible anywhere, any place that you are. Really, the huge advantage of all of that is to then leverage that information in LDA, use the automations built into life design analysis to then actually identify and capture opportunities that are already within that existing book of business. So rather than you having to pour over spreadsheets and manually check every month or every quarter to find those opportunities, whether it's conversions or renewals, whatever might be coming up, even beyond that, just making sure you've best served your client and they've received the best service possible. Last but not least, is lead generation. We have an add-on to the system that allows you to fully integrate LDA directly into your website. And so what that affords you the ability to do is capture these warm leads, people coming through, whether that's traffic you've driven to the site by SEO tactics or blog content, or it may in fact just be from kind of organic search, whether that's from social or otherwise. And then essentially they can go through this needs analysis form, they can find out and kind of educate themselves a little bit and go through that less confrontational beginnings of actually figuring out what they think they might need, and then also being able to then contact a professional. So really what lead generation allows you to do is sync LDA to your website, fully integrate that needs analysis into the site, and automatically generate these beautiful presentations for those clients who are checking out solutions and wanting to learn a little more. Beyond all of this, we've got a huge advantage in how we've set up the system. One, we see a huge core of our customers that can anecdotally say it's significantly improved communication, it's increased sales, and it saves time. And that's just by virtue of how we've set up the system, how we've focused on the visualizations built into LDA and kind of how those can be leveraged. And then finally here, before we jump into the demo, just to kind of touch on a number of the different partners we have across the Canadian landscape of the insurance industry. We're really lucky and fortunate to be able to work with tons of these great organizations, whether it's carriers, MGAs, independent distribution organizations, or larger wealth managers. So to kind of give you an idea of, we deal with a number of different parts of the industry, both on the independent advisor side of things, distribution, carriers, as well as on the bank side. So we see all types of different problems, and we seek to solve those with our unique solution here. So without further ado, let's jump into the demo. I'm going to pass things back to John, and we'll actually kind of take a hands-on look at LDA.
Thanks, Nick. Okay, what I'm going to do now is go through the process of how to design a case inside of Life Design Analysis. When you sign up for a free 30-day trial, you'll have access to this main screen when you go to lifedesignanalysis.com and log in. How I'm going to begin is by selecting this option here, Add New Case. What this is going to allow me to do is either type in a client's name from my database if I've brought in my in-force block of business, which Nick will preview in just a second, or what I can do is I can create a brand new client on the spot. When you are creating these clients, really all that's required is the first and last name, the date of birth, gender, and smoker status. However, if we fill in more info like the contact information, this will help us when we move information over to our eApp integration with Fast and Full, and which we'll be designing with more carriers come 2022. Once the design case page loads up, this is where I can start to compose my insurance report for any life insurance or critical illness scenario. We can even work with disability as well in certain cases. The first step is, of course, in most sales processes, is to go through the insurance needs analysis, which can be done for a personal or for a business need by selecting the edit icon. When you're doing the needs analysis with a client, you can either fill in the needs analysis on our program, or you can send a web link to a client and they can fill in the needs analysis from their own device. What I'm going to do today, though, is I'm going to go through filling it in myself. I'm going to put in some arbitrary numbers for each specific section, but as you can see, as I start to fill in those values, there's going to be a pie chart that starts to appear on the right-hand side, previewing the insurance need of my client based on the values that I input here. So I'll say State taxes for my final section, put in 100,000. So everything from mortgage down to the bottom adds to the insurance need. You'll see some areas such as income replacement and education have multiplying factors, which have been factored into the end values. And then there's the other section, which I always like to highlight for additional considerations, such as estate taxes, charitable donation, or legacy funds. Those are our most common three. So I've put in 100,000 for estate taxes, and I'm going to click Save Changes to proceed. Now that I'm back on the design case page and I've established my need, I can use one of these green colored icons to bring in a life insurance or critical illness example. What I'm going to do today is start by bringing in term insurance. When I select plus term, this is going to access the life guide integration we have built in. What I can do is I can start filling in the amount of insurance that's required. So I'll say in this case 600,000 to match the need. I can choose my term length, the risk, payment schedule, and under company filters, I've created my own custom curated carrier list based on the carriers that I either have a contract with or that I prefer. So I'm going to leave it as that, although I can search all the carriers or look at one specific carrier. And I'm going to click search to now proceed. What's going to happen is it's going to show me the market survey for all the Canadian carriers that are under my preferred company list. And again, these quotes are coming from Life Guide. But if I click add to case for a specific product option, what will happen is it will load this into my design case page. Now I'm back on my design case page. I can see the Canada Life My Term option listed above these green colored icons, meaning this is going to be a part of my presentation. So I can generate this to show it on its own, or I can add in any other product type from any carrier to compare against this. There's no limitations on our end. So as you can see, it's very fast and efficient to not only do your research in LDA, but then have that information presentable using the visuals, which we'll show in just a second. So that market survey capability replicates itself for any term length. It also does for basic permanent products, such as a minimum funded universal life coverage, or non-participating or even basic participating whole life options. For products such as participating whole life or overfunded universal life, a lot of the variables that are a part of those product types, such as ADO, premium offset, term riders, showing the dividend scale projections, those aren't available in a market survey to quote. So what we can do is we can bring in data from the carrier's illustration software. In order to achieve this, I can simply select which carrier I want to work with for that product type. So for this example, I'm going to choose Empire Life. And what I'll see in just a second is on the design case page, below the Canada Life My Term 10 option, I'm going to see that it says Empire Life Whole Life. So we can see the design case page is reloaded with the Empire Life Whole Life option, but it's indicating to me that it wants LDA to have a spreadsheet file imported or a copied spreadsheet pasted into here to translate those values. So what I can do is I can go to Empire Life's illustration software and I can design a product that matches what I want to present to my client. I've already done this just to save us time. So this is an estate max 20 pay, paid up additions, 30 or 300,000 of base coverage paid annually, and a 300,000 solution 20 rider that will go for 20 years. So we don't see premium being payable past that 20th year. But instead of printing the report or viewing a PDF file, I'm going to select the option to view data, and each carrier has a data or spreadsheet icon I can select. From here, I can export that information into Microsoft Excel. And once I've exported this in Excel, what I prefer is to highlight the data to copy it, including the headers. Then I'll go back to my life design analysis case, select paste spreadsheet data, right click and paste that information in there and upload it. We can now see I've been provided a message telling me the data has been imported successfully. So we have the ability to load in any of the major carrier spreadsheets for any of their whole life or universal life variations. So you can create exactly the product that you want to present to your client and have it presentable inside of Life Design Analysis. Before I generate the report, I just want to highlight there's a lot of different ways that you can customize these reports for all different case styles, including corporate and personal estate transfer, which I'll show you in just a second. We can choose the exact page options that we want to present, or you can utilize a setting that we offer to use one of our pre-set up case designs, but we can even customize this based on your preferences. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to generate the report to see how this turns out. Okay, so let's take a look at this report. We can see it's branded to Life Design Analysis, but envision your logo, your colors, your client's name, and your name as a part of the report. Even your custom compliance documentation, such as a disclaimer, mission statement, reason why letter. All of this can be incorporated for you so it looks like it's coming from you, not a third-party program or a carrier, and we're catering it to your specifications. With the needs analysis, it's interactive. So what I can do is I can toggle options on and off by selecting those legends down below. So you'll see as I've selected mortgage, it's removed it from the pie chart and subtracted it from our table. So this way we can show our client how their needs are going to change over time, but they may still have a permanent need that we need to consider with our insurance report. We have a breakdown of each product option that we're presenting from a premium paid perspective. We can show it annually or monthly. We can add in product descriptions. That's something we can always include on here too. But then we can translate that information visually with those interactives using the actual data. So it's not just concept based, it's catered to our client. We can also compare the cumulative cost, how much they're spending at the end of each year. So we can see, yes, term is more beneficial from a price perspective initially. However, long term, the permanent option is more favorable. We can break down the cash value versus the cumulative cost, whether it's the current dividend the carrier provides, or we can toggle in other options such as the reduced dividend or guaranteed cash value. From the coverage amount, we can show the same, it in the same format, just a different color as you can see here. We can show the rider ending, and I've even included my own notes stating that the rider ends to alleviate any confusion, but we have those same options down below as well. All information though that's presented visually, we do have the ability to show the values in a number form to go along with it, whether it is from a price perspective, cash value, insurance benefit, or coverage amount. But these pages can be expanded beyond the 5-year increments just by clicking the plus icon. We refer to this as an accordion style table, so you can show what you want to and what you need. But these reports have a very similar look and feel, and they can be catered for many different case scenarios. I have a corporate estate transfer case that I have on a second tab here ready to go, and I'll scroll past some of the pages we've seen previously, but notice how the look and feel is consistent to what we just reviewed. I've provided a write-up on the concept, brought in a product that caters to this strategy, so putting in $50,000 per year for 20 years. We can break down the assumptions very much like the carrier illustrations offer. We have a graphic to break down the concept, so the traditional approach by putting the excess capital into a traditional investment versus putting it into a life insurance policy, and then we can show the value of that. So the pre-tax value of this concept versus the after-tax or net value versus the insurance and how much greater that is. And we can do comparisons of potential rate of return that's required. Look at all the calculations that go along with it and highlight the target age that is most meaningful to our client. We can compare the life insurance cash value and death benefit versus the green, which represents putting it into an alternate investment, and show it over time. And then we can summarize that information very nicely as well. So there's many different ways we can put together a life design analysis case. The look and feel is consistent though. With these reports, we have the ability to download a PDF file to print, or we can share an interactive report with our client. This will generate a custom URL link that I can share via email, text message, whatever your preference is. So all I need to do is copy this and I can paste it into an email. I'm going to simulate today though that I'm not logged into LDA and I'm logging in through a client's device by using an incognito window to show you that the report that the client sees is exactly the same as what you can produce on your end. They can't edit the products or the pages, but they can go through it just as you did using the interactive visuals. So everything is consistent. They can contact you on the left-hand side through these icons. They can indicate to you which product that they want to proceed with, and that will notify you as soon as that happens. but we also can provide notifications on when the client views this report, with how long they look at it, when they open it, how long they look at each page. So if I go back to my design case page, I'm going to see I have a notification that's telling me the client's viewed the report, and they've also provided that indication to purchase. Now, once they've done this, you'll see here on the right, I have the ability to send all of this client's information into the Empire Fast and Full e-app, and this will allow me to send that information directly to there, start the app without having to duplicate that process again.
Thanks, John. I wanted to cover off enforced policy management, client management in LDA. Obviously, as far as kind of the importing process goes, it's really actually quite simple. All that's really required is one, a listing of the advisor codes for the carriers that you typically operate with, or who you hold business with. We can take that information away. We'll go to the carriers, request all that information, and pull it down to the system, import it into LDA, and then you'll have it accessible in Managed Client. What you'll see is kind of a general listing of all this information. You can organize it by a ton of different ways, as well as you can also use these built-in filters at the top left here. Really kind of an easy way to be able to navigate that information is to utilize that specific function there if you're looking for opportunities within your book once that's imported into LDA. Alternatively, of course, you can look for a specific client by searching through the little text bars here, or looking for a specific policy number, etc. Tons of different ways to navigate this information. Not only can you kind of utilize the notification system, but using the filters, you're able to kind of quickly take a glance at what's coming up. As an example, term 10 conversion, if we click that, what it's going to do is filter out all of our other policy data and client data and list us essentially just who has term 10 opportunities that are coming viable. And at the top of this list will be essentially the most urgent opportunity. So we'll be able to tell based on the issue date associated with that top option. We'll be able to identify what's coming up with the most highest level of urgency, and then kind of how we can go from there. So this is something we see a lot of users will do on a monthly or a quarterly basis, depending on how large their existing book of business is. And really kind of just get a glance at what's going to be coming up, say in the next 3 to 6 months, get a handle on that, and then allow the notification system to kind of take over in that process. Using those filters built into LDA is a super easy way to be able to take a glance at what's coming up and find those urgent, high level opportunities in your book of business. Overriding all of that, what we have is the notification system. And as I mentioned, you can find that at the top right here. What you'll see is really exactly that, a list of notifications. You can filter by a ton of different specific types of notifications, but in this case, I've chosen to kind of look specifically at what are my term 10 conversions coming up, what have I been notified about most recently, and then conversely also giving me a little insight into what that opportunity is and having an automated case created on that as well. It's all kind of centralized in this one hub of your notifications. So from here, we could go in, check out what this client's got going on, go and view the case, and ultimately take a look at what's been automated here. So in this specific opportunity, based on kind of some preferences you can set in your user account, you can identify what carriers it automates these quotes off of, what type of recipe is automated off of that. And that's essentially just kind of a predetermined comparison. So in a lot of cases, default setting and what a lot of people use will be setting up your term 10 conversion to show term 10, 20, and 30. Or some people will even slot in some type of permanent policy as well once they get that automated case. So tons of flexibility in kind of how you can manage that. But really kind of the idea is to leverage the automations built into LDA in order to eliminate the inefficiencies or a lot of the menial work of keeping track of your existing book and leaning on LDA to take care of those processes for you. As you can see, kind of obviously this is a kind of a high level demonstration of what that is, but there's really kind of rich integrations that you can put into your practice utilizing life design analysis in order to strip out extra steps that you've had to do manually for lack of having a software system in place. As well as kind of how you can improve on the existing systems you already have in place. So a lot of opportunities and different ways kind of how to get creative and utilize life design analysis to build that into your practice. And as always, we're happy to collaborate with you on that end to see how the system might work best for you, how we can make recommendations on niche or smaller parts of the software platform. Really kind of the idea is that we want to work with all of you and help to both build efficiency into your practice as well as help improve the existing process that you already have built in. that's really kind of the final part of the presentation here today. Really, really thankful to have the opportunity to present to all of you and take the opportunity, hopefully, to meet up through the breakout rooms in order to kind of chat more about life design analysis. We'll have our contact info listed at the end of this presentation as well. So feel free to reach out to either John or myself or anyone else on the LDA team to learn more about LDA, get a one-to-one demonstration of the system, or even work through a live case. Happy to set up something and really kind of figure out if this might be something that would be worthwhile to try on with your practice.